Okay, y'all. So I'm going to be real quick. Consciously Kai here. For those of you who are new, welcome. For those of you who are coming back, thank you for your support. So, y'all, I have just finished a 30-day raw food challenge that I did. It was just for me to experience eating raw food, to see how it was, and I completed it. And I want to tell you the pros and cons of eating raw. Okay, so first off, this was a fun challenge for me to do. I learned a lot. I actually enjoyed being in the produce section of the grocery store and staying primarily in that section. When I go shopping, I had no processed foods um, in my basket. So I'm going to go over the cons first. Cons. Let me get to the cons. So first of all, doing raw food is time consuming because you are making literally everything from scratch. Like, it can be as easy or as hard as you want. And I am kind of like a middle person because I wanted to make pizza. I wanted to make tuna. I wanted to make some desserts, and I did all of that and I had fun doing it. So if you didn't see them, check out my short videos. I made a pizza. I made a blueberry cheesecake. I made a carrot cake. I made kelp noodles, which those made my stomach hurt. And I just did a lot of things. There's a lot of soaking involved. I use my dehydrator a lot, which the con about the dehydrator, which I love, but it's still a con because it takes so long. Like, to make that pizza, it took me 2 days because it took me 16 hours just to dehydrate the crust. Then the other thing, so basically it's time consuming. I had a lot of gas. Like, some gas got stuck on me, and I think that was those kelp noodles, but I think it was the kelp noodles. I really do. But I had a lot of gas, and I think maybe I may have just eaten too many nuts. I think a lot of the recipes had me soaking nuts. And so I think that eating a bunch of nuts may have, it may have been too much for me. I didn't feel bad or anything, but I don't know. I don't know that I feel good about eating that much nuts. I don't know. I don't know. I'm pending on that. So those are the cons. So it's time consuming, high gas, and maybe I ate too many nuts. And I think that's pretty much it for the cons. I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so now for the pros. So the good things about eating raw food for 30 days. First, I love the fact that I actually stayed in the produce section of the grocery store. I had no processed packaged anything for the most part. For the most part, my coconut wraps were in a package, but for the most part, everything was mainly whole food plants from the produce section of the grocery store. I loved the creativity that came with playing with the different vegetables, like opening up the refrigerator and seeing lettuce and carrots and celery and grapes and whatever, and then all of a sudden having a plate of meal to eat, a plate of foods that is considered a meal from those items, when previously I couldn't see possibilities from a head of lettuce. Well, a head of lettuce during this 30 days were taco wraps or tuna wraps. So I love that creativity in creating the meals. I also love that all of my food was digestible. My bowels moved regularly. I was not constipated at all. Even on days when I felt like I ate too many nuts and my bowels were a little slow moving, they still moved. Yay. And I also liked that my energy level was high. I wasn't ever sluggish or tired throughout any of these 30 days. Um, I was able to exercise if I wanted to. I don't really exercise much right now. I'm going to work on that. But I was able to get up and walk. I didn't feel tired. And then I also loved using my dehydrator. I really loved the idea of when I felt like I wanted something cooked, I could just dehydrate it to give me that little crunch that I needed, especially for like my mushrooms. I either like my mushrooms cooked and crunchy or I need them dehydrated and crunchy because the mushrooms are, I don't like the texture of them so much, but if they are dehydrated and crunchy or cooked and crunchy, I'm good with them. So I was happy about having that option of using my dehydrator. And so that's what I liked about eating raw. So again, the creativity with the recipes, the live digestible food, I had high energy level, and of course, I liked using my dehydrator. So now, let me tell you about some mistakes I made. Okay, so one mistake I made um, on this raw food diet is primarily when people think of raw food, they just think of food not being cooked. You are not cooking food. And yes, that's part of it. But there are packaged foods and things that are not considered raw, but I wasn't thinking about that because I was just primarily knowing that, okay, I'm not cooking anything. I'm not turning on ovens or anything. I just dehydrate. So, tea. So, I only used tea 3 times during this challenge, but I use it because I use my sea moss. I put my sea moss gel or my moss cubes in my tea. And I noticed that I hadn't had any sea moss in some days. So I said, let me get some sea moss in. So I put my sea moss in my green matcha tea. I didn't think anything of it. And I just said, let me look up. I wonder if this is considered raw. Is this the thing? Well, turns out, did some research. They said that green matcha tea is not considered raw because it has caffeine in it, one. And two, because of the way the leaves are processed, it doesn't qualify as being raw. So tea is not considered, the matcha tea is not raw. Also, I was using some purple pea tea that a friend made. That is not considered raw. But did I beat myself over that? And should you? No. This is not about perfection. This is about progression. I'm not mad about having some tea, but I did want to let you all know that that was something I did. In addition to some other little minor things I did in the very, very beginning. I ate a bunch of dried fruit, which the dried fruit is still considered raw, but nobody should be sitting up eating dried fruit as much as I was eating it. I mean, I ate a lot of dry mangoes, y'all. I'm kind of ashamed of how many I ate. I ate a lot. But that was a mistake I made, is kind of using too much dry fruit to compensate during my snacking time. Eating the of course the tea, and then I had some pistachios that were roasted in the beginning, a handful of those, and so that's pretty much, I guess, the mistakes or the things that that I made while going through this challenge. But all in all, I'm proud of myself because I did it. I still did it. And so, if you are interested in doing a challenge, I hope that my story will help you. The biggest thing about it is to be careful with, along with me doing raw foods, I forgot to tell you, I also did a bunch of juicing. Now, I don't know that I thought that the juicing, I was excited about the juicing more than even the raw food. But I think that I will try to not do them together because I don't know if me drinking the juices or no, let me just back up. Honestly, I think my combinations, I was juicing everything. Juicing stuff that probably shouldn't have even went together. I juiced cabbage and grapes. I was juicing whatever I had. If I felt like it was going bad, I would juice it. And so I think that might have kind of triggered some gas as well. So you want to be careful with your more like things like cabbage that are more hearty. You want to watch how you combine those. And then, of course, again, this sea kelp, it could have been the sea kelp. I don't know. I'll try the sea kelp again, the sea kelp noodles again, but I don't know. But that's the thing, that the day I had the sea kelp noodles was when I had that gas that would not move. Yeah, it was stuck on me. It would not move. I was just hoping to pass gas belch or something, and it just was stuck. And I don't know if it was because of those noodles, but that's the only thing that I could pinpoint. So we'll see. But again, overall, the challenge was fun. I learned a lot. I look forward to adding more raw foods into my diet. There's people say I'm high raw. They go, I'm doing high raw vegan. I don't know what the difference between being high raw vegan and just, I don't know. But I'm guessing high raw means you just eat mostly raw. You're not 100% raw, but you're high raw. So I think that I could see some high rawness in my future. Not sure yet, but I will keep you guys posted. But at any rate, if you like my content, please, please, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you are interested in seeing me do some other type of challenge, as long as it's plant based, please let me know. Drop a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see. If you have any questions, do the same. Drop a comment. Until then, y'all, I will see you guys in the next video.